Welcome back. Well, it is Wednesday, and that means it's time for Wild Wednesday. Joining today is Allison Gould, and what are we learning about today? We got some cool items in here.
We do, yeah. So we have a real brown bear skull, and then this is a piece of a 50-gallon barrel that our brown bears have destroyed. So this is a piece of enrichment from them.
Yeah, so they have a lot of power, strength. I guess let's talk a little bit about that maybe first.
Yeah, so with their skulls, you can tell their head is very large, but they also have these massive canine teeth, so that's what they're using to chomp down on everything. And so in the barrel here, you can see some of their teeth puncture marks throughout it. And then on their skull too, what gives them their big bite force that they have is this piece back here. So this is called the sagittal crest of the skull. This is basically where the jaw muscles attach. So they have muscles that come all the way through the bottom and attach up here. And so the bigger this ridge is, the stronger their bite is going to be. So with the really large brown bears, they can have a bite force of about 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people kind of wonder the difference, I think, between the bears and black bears, brown bears.
Sure.
Maybe talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah. So brown bears are going to be a lot larger, and then black bears are a lot smaller. The best way to tell them apart is not always by their color, because some black bears can look a little bit brown, but you can tell more by the shape of their body. So brown bears have a larger hump kind of on their shoulders or on their back. Black bears have more of a smooth line down their back. And so at the zoo, we do have a couple of black bears, but then we have 4 brown bears as well. And between the 2 of them, we have 2 grizzly bears and then 2 Alaskan coastal brown bears.
Yeah, I was going to say then talk about the regions where kind of all of them, you can find them throughout the world.
Sure, yeah. So the grizzly bears are usually found more in the continental United States. So our 2 are sisters that were from Yellowstone National Park. And then the 2 coastal brown bears, the ones that would be a little bit more of this size, are from Alaska. So those are usually some of the biggest brown bears you'll find in the world.
Okay, and then kind of, near here in our area, maybe, what kind of bears do people maybe see?
Yeah, so around in the city areas, you're not going to really find any bears. You'll find them more in forested areas. That's usually where they like to hang out, but they also like to be around water sources too. So as far as I know, there's not a whole lot of bears found in South Dakota, but as far you get more farther towards Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, there's a lot more bears out there.
Yeah, okay. I guess talk about the ones at the zoo we have and maybe where people can find them.
Yeah, so all of our bears are kind of in the center of the zoo. So like I said, we have 2 grizzly bears, 2 coastal brown bears, and then 2 black bears. And so all of them do get large pieces of enrichment like this, and a lot of them are very playful and very interactive with their enrichment. And so this is about a third of a 50-gallon barrel, so they are pretty tall, and you can tell it's not a super thin plastic, so they get really durable items, things that they can tear apart, throw around. And so Kodiak, our largest of our brown bears, this is one of his favorite things that he gets. He especially likes to take the barrels into the water and kind of try to drown them in the water and tear them apart and do all the natural behaviors bears would normally do.
For sure. What does their diet typically consist of at the zoo?
Sure. Yeah, so all of them are going to be omnivores, so they're eating a range of different foods. So we give them large chunks of bone, things that they can really use those big teeth to tear apart. But they do get a lot of plants and vegetable items as well. So they get heads of lettuce, carrots, apples, sometimes peanut butter as a nice training snack or training treat, and then different meat in there, sometimes fish, sometimes chunks of meat, just depending on what they need. And so we're always mixing up that diet, so it's a little variable.
Awesome, really cool. Well, thanks for being here this morning. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And we'll be right back after the break.